Unusual money making.
Stop! You violated the law.
Whoa, my bad, Mr. Veragard. I'm sorry. I didn't want any trouble. Wait, you can talk?
Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. Your stolen goods are now forfeit.
It's back, and today we're trying out some things we don't usually do. Unusual methods where you make money over a long period of time, selling items that may not sell right away, but may make you a lot of money over time. You guys have been sending weirder, more profitable methods than ever before, which is why today's episode is absolutely packed with great methods, including an overnight moneymaker that made me millions. If you guys are interested in Gillinor Games Season 2 and want to know more about it, check out my last video where I talk about the big plans I have for it, as well as ways that you guys can get involved. I've settled on the entire cast now, and fitting them all into the framed and the shots is going to be a bit more difficult this time. Hopefully, I'll be able to release all the episodes towards the end of the summer. Make sure to leave your unusual methods in the comments below, or send me a message on Discord or Twitter. If I like it, I'll try it out and put it in the next video. And while you're down there, don't forget to give the video a like and subscribe if you're new. The methods don't have to be amazing GP an hour, just weird and unusual. That's what this series is all about. Red31 wants me to turn planks into wooden cats. If they sell at the suggested price, I can make roughly 2.5k profit per cat. 2 cats can be made at a crafting table in your house. Wooden cats require a crafting table 1, and toy cats require a crafting table 4. Now, Red suggested I try to make wooden cats, however I noticed that they only had a buy limit of 15, whereas toy cats had a buy limit of 150. And since I already had a crafting table 4, I decided to go with toy cats. They require 2 items, a clockwork and a plank. The process of making the cats is incredibly easy. Click on your crafting table, press 4, then 5, and you've made a cat. And you can make the cats very quickly since it only takes about 3 ticks or 2 seconds per cat. I would bring 13 planks and 13 clockworks with me, as well as a rune pouch with teleport to house runes. I'd make the inventory of cats, then teleport out with the jewelry box in my house to Castle Wars, bank, teleport back, and repeat the process. I was able to make 800 toy cats in 1 hour doing this method. There's definitely a bit more room for improvement though. If you're doing it very efficiently, you could probably knock out 850 to 900 toy cats in an hour. The one thing I was skeptical of when I originally tried this was the demand. Does anybody actually buy these? Well, to my surprise, yes, there is a market for them, and it's a very profitable one. I noticed that the OS Buddy guide price was 3,600 GP as opposed to the GE price of 2,800 GP. So the first time I did this, I offered them in the GE for 3,600 GP, went to sleep, and I woke up to a beautiful, full green bar of a sold offer. Here's how my 2 attempts went. The first time, I was able to sell all the cats for 3,600 GP, and I profited 1.5 million GP. When I attempted it the second time for the video, the supplies cost me 810k, and I sold the cats for 2.56 mil for a profit of 1.75 million GP. I don't know why there's a market for these cats. I'm assuming that someone has a collection, or people just enjoy the fact that the cat follows you around like a pet would. Either way, whoever's buying them, thank you, because you're making this method one of the best unusual methods ever. Now, I will put an asterisk on this because they did sell overnight and not necessarily in an hour, but hey, profit is profit. I'll take it. This next method was suggested to me on Twitter, but I can't for the life of me find the message, so to whoever the mystery moneymaker suggester is, thanks for the method. They said I should turn Rune Arrows into Rune Arrow P++s. To do this, you need a Weapon Poison ++ and Rune Arrows. 1 Weapon Poison turns 5 arrows into P++ arrows. Just get out an inventory of Weapon Poisons, a stack of Rune Arrows, and spam click between the 2 like your life depends on it. There's no delay between making them, so it takes very little time to finish an inventory. So let's say you only have 1 million GP like I do. You can buy 250 Weapon Poison and 1,250 Rune Arrows for 947k. It only took me 5 minutes to turn all the Rune Arrows into the P++ version. I threw them in the GE and waited for around an hour for them all to sell. I sold them for 1,125,000 GP for a profit of 178k. Now keep in mind that you can sell a lot more than I did. It only took me 5 minutes to turn all those arrows into the P++ version, so I could have made thousands more over the course of an hour. Around 20,000 of these arrows sell per day, so there are people who buy them, but definitely not a method I would overdo. Still, for a quick bit of profit, it's very good. You know, usually an unusual moneymaker consists of buying something from an NPC and then selling it to the Grand Exchange, but Chesh, he says that there's an armor shop on Yatitso, an armor shop on Yatiso that buys most Mithril Armor components for above GE value. If you sell 5 pieces of armor per world, except for the plate skirt, which doesn't buy apparently, then you can make around 10k per world. So if you do one world every 30 seconds, then you can make 1.2 mil an hour. Mithril Armor does in fact buy on the Grand Exchange. I was able to buy 100 of each piece, except for the chain skirt, in 30 minutes on the GE. It cost me a total of 771k. You can find this Mithril Armor shop on Yatizo. It's run by a guy called Rune Arrows. Cool guy. Now, I sold 5 pieces of each armor to him. He has 4 in stock, and after selling them to him, he should have 9. Per world, you make 51k after selling the armor pieces to the shop. With the prices I bought the Mithril Armor pieces at on the GE, I invested 38,500 GP per world, so per world, I'm making 12.5k. I underestimated how long it would take to sell everything off. I was done in 10 minutes, and I made 236k off my initial 771k investment, so I made 236k in 10 minutes. Over the course of an hour, it would have added up to 1.4 million GP, even more than what Cheesh said. When I saw this, I immediately went back to the GE to try this for the full hour, but I was met with something I didn't realize before. The buy limit for all the Mithril Armor pieces is 125. I had pretty much reached it, so the only way for me to do this for an entire hour is to wait for almost an entire day for the GE offers to go through. So in terms of consistent hourly money, it doesn't really work, but I have to say, 230k profit in 10 minutes by selling Mithril Armor to a shop on Yatizo, kind of weird, kind of unusual. I like it. Wild Muffin says that if you do the Getting Ahead quest, you can get access to a shelf that gives you unlimited red and yellow dyes. Gordon and Mary's house can be found just south of the Farming Guild. After completing the quest, you get access to this bookshelf, and when you click on it, you have the option to take either a red or yellow dye. Red dye are worth way more than yellow dye are for some reason, so it makes more sense to only focus on the red dye. All you have to do is start spam clicking the shelf, press 1, and you'll start quickly collecting the dyes. Now, I decided to approach this method from a rebuild perspective, where I have absolutely nothing. Using teleports will of course speed up the banking process, but I was curious how much I could make doing this with nothing. So I just collected an inventory, ran north to the Farming Guild, banked, ran back to the house, and repeated the process. I was able to collect 898 dyes in an hour, and I sold them for 405 GP each for a total of 363,000 GP. And that is pure profit. No need to subtract any GP because of runes or supplies used. If I had used teleports to collect the dyes, I would have collected most likely around 1,200 dyes and made close to 500k. But to have a method that makes you 350k in an hour from nothing is pretty good. Definitely a thumbs up from me. Exile suggests that I buy Relisim's Balm from Uglug Nar near Castle Wars. They sell for 200 GP each from him and go for around 650 GP on the Grand Exchange. If done correctly, we can make a cool 600k an hour. We've actually done a method here in the past, Ogre Coffins, and it made us a whopping 100 GP in an hour. Hopefully, this area isn't cursed for us when it comes to making money. Let's try it out. You might be asking, why do people want Relisim's Balm? Well, they're mainly used at the Nightmare boss, where they can help reduce damage during one of the phases. The Nightmare is a pretty popular piece of content, so the bombs are usually in demand, and if something's in demand, there's money to be made. The method is simple. We're just running back and forth between Uglug Nar and the Castle Wars bank. When my run gets low, I teleport to my house, restore my run, and back to Castle Wars. The price goes up every time you buy a balm, so I just stuck with buying a full inventory, then hopping worlds. After an hour, I ended up with 2,106 3-dose Relisim's Balm. I then converted them into 1,579 4-dose balms, since they would make me a bit more money. They all sold on the GE for 1,185,000 GP. I spent 526k on the balms from the shop in total, so I profited 658,000 GP. Pretty much bang on with what Exile had said I would make. The methods this episode have been absolutely fantastic. You guys are really upping your game. I feel proud. Max wants me to try exchanging Master Scroll books for Watson Teleport Scrolls. If you give one of the empty books to Watson, you can get between 10 to 20 Watson Teleport Scrolls. Depending on the amount of scrolls you get, you can either lose 20k or profit 34k. The wiki says that the average profit per book is 7.2k. Sounds great. A bit of a gamble in terms of how much profit you'll make, but there's a higher chance you make money than lose it. As long as I average more than 14 Watson scrolls per book, then I'm in the green, and the odds are in my favor. You can only buy 100 Master Scroll books every 4 hours, but if what the wiki says is true, that's 700k profit every 4 hours. I bought 100 scroll books for 7.49 million GP. All you have to do is just run back and forth between Watson's house and a bank. You can exchange every book in your inventory at once, so it takes no time at all. It only took me 5 minutes to exchange all 100 books for scrolls. In return, I received 1,498 Watson teleports, so I averaged almost 15 teleport scrolls per book, pretty much bang on average. I chucked the scrolls on the Grand Exchange for 5,400 GP each, and I let them sit there for around 2 hours until they all sold for 8,089,000 GP. This profited me 600k. That's insane. If you do this twice a day as kind of like a daily, you can make 1 million GP a day. That's an easy way to keep up a bond. It only takes 10 minutes a day. Make sure you always pay attention though, because prices may change, but for now, I'll continue doing this for some easy profit. Thanks, Max. Angori sent me a Discord message and suggested I try out his insane GP per hour method. There's the word, guys, insane. Expectations are automatically high. His message included a lot of numbers, so I had a good idea of what to expect. His method isn't the most unusual method, it's just selling things in the tar shop for Tockle and then buying an Onyx. It's something hundreds of people do every day, mainly Iron Men. But as many of you know, the prices of items have drastically changed over the past few years, especially resource items. Chaos Runes used to be 100 GP, now they're 52 GP. Myth Ore used to be 300 GP, now it's 97 GP. Silver Ore used to be 120 GP, now it's 40 GP. The price crash is due to the very high amount of boss additions to the game that give resource drops. Zolcano is one of the worst offenders. It's not a bad piece of content, but it's so heavily botted and so farmed for GP that it caused the price of lots of items to crash. But the cheap items make Angori's method viable. When you sell Chaos Runes, Myth Ore, and Silver Ore to the Tsar shop, you get Tockle, and if you're wearing Karamja gloves, you get more Tockle per item. This makes the price of the Onyx cheaper for you from the shop. This method has the potential to be very good. To buy an Onyx, you'll need either 37,000 Silver Ore, 16,250 Myth Ore, or 28,800 Chaos Runes. All ores have a buy limit of 13,000 per hour, so if you're using one account, you need to wait at least 4 hours for your Myth Ore to buy, or 8 hours for Silver. Runes have a buy limit of 12,000, so you need to wait at least 8 hours for the Chaos Runes to buy. And if you're looking to buy at a specific price, you may need to wait even longer. I left offers in overnight for all 3 items. I bought 1 Onyx worth of Silver Ore, 3 Onyxes worth of Mithril Ore, and 2 Onyxes worth of Chaos Runes. The total cost of the items was 9,275,000 GP. In total, it took about 16 hours for everything to buy at the price I was looking for. To sell the items quickly to the shop, just turn on the single mouse button mode so you can just spam left click on all the items and sell them very quickly. It took about 20 minutes to sell every single item and buy all 6 Onyxes. I also got Carpal Tunnel in the process. All the Onyxes sold for 10 million GP, so I profited 727k. If I had enough resources to sell for the entire hour, I would have profited 2.1 million GP over the course of the hour. Pretty damn good, one of the best methods we've seen on here, but there is also an asterisk next to this one since you need to wait a long time for the resources to buy on the GE, and you have to have the perseverance to spam left click for hours on end. Not a bad method, but probably not something I do consistently. Meh. We haven't done anything combat related in a while, so let's try out this method from Adam. He says that his recent AFK moneymaker he's been trying out is killing Urium Shades. The remains that they drop sell for around 5.5k a pop, so it's not unrealistic to bring in between 4 to 500k per hour. Urium Shades were added in a recent update to the Morton Catacombs and are the best shades you can kill. If you burn their remains, you have a chance of getting a variety of new items like pieces of the new Zealot outfit, rune scrolls, and gold locks. Many people are currently trying out this content, so these shade remains are in high demand. I threw on my best melee gear, grabbed myself a gold key, and I went to town on these Urium shades. Thanks to RuneLite, I found a plugin called Profit Tracker, and it tracks exactly how much money I gain and lose while doing something in game. I used 2 Divine Super Combat doses and around 4 to 5 Manta Rays per trip. I used my Construction Cape to teleport out, and my Mauritania legs to teleport back in. If you want, you can AFK here and let the shades attack you, but it results in less kills an hour. I decided to pay a bit more attention and attack one whenever possible. After an hour, I collected 149 Urium shades, and the Profit Tracker said I made 669k, but it always comes down to if they actually sell on the Grand Exchange, and they do, for 3.6k each. Not the 5.5k I was hoping for, but at least they sold. This puts our profit at 500k, pretty much bang on with what Adam said our profit per hour would be. I'm not sure if this will stay at a consistent 500k an hour or not. Realistically, prices are probably going to go down in the future, but for now, I enjoyed this fairly relaxing way to earn a cool 500,000 GP per hour. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed, make sure to give the video a like and subscribe to my channel. If you want to see more, check out my video on the discovery of a new Runescape cheat that everyone should try, or my video discussing the new season of Gillenor Games and how you can get yourself involved and unlock some cool bonus stuff.